Okay, welcome to Cameron High School. Dave Cuffle with you again. Going to give you a little bonus footage of the JV girls basketball game, Cameron versus Northwestern. We're getting close to what's going to be a running clock in the second half. The Comets up 50-19 over the Northwestern Tigers. So I'm going to step by. I'm in here early enough to give you some bonus footage here. It's about 6:30 on Tuesday night, and the Comets with a nice 50-19 lead with 8:30 left on the clock. Well, that concludes Cameron Northwestern Tigers JV varsity. Cameron girls on top, 63-26. And if you happen to catch the last few minutes, when you have a lead of 40 points in the second half, halfway through the second half, you have what's called running time. That means when the ball goes out of bounds or they shoot free throws, they usually stop the clock. So tonight you see a good crowd on hand. It is youth night for Cameron girls basketball. So the youth programs, grades 3 through 8, are in attendance tonight along with their coaches. I'm not sure what they have planned at halftime. I've seen them play a little bit of basketball. I've seen them get introduced. Either way, they're going to be on the court at halftime. When you can see the other end of the court, you see Cameron youth basketball. When this game is done tonight, all the Cameron high school girls basketball players are going to be down there in the north end of the gym. We have tables set up, and they're going to be signing their picture. So the Cameron youth basketball purchased probably 11 by 14 photographs of the Cameron High School girls team, and every year the girls sit down and sign the autographs of their pictures for the youth players who want them. And it's a really good time for the youth to connect with the high school players. It's something I know the kids look forward to, and I know the high school girls basketball players really enjoy doing it. So it's always fun for the kids. After the game tonight, they will be down there in the north end signing them for adults, kids, anybody that wants the pictures. And you can talk with the players down there, and the players have been really good at hanging around and taking pictures with the little kids if they want them. So I see we have Tyler Halverson tonight in-house with the band. It's always good to have them playing some music. And not on the docket for me, but it appears to be Parents' Night for the Cameron dance team. So getting introduced right now. I was not provided with the roster of the dance team, but it is our dancers along with their parents. And once this recognition is done, we will have our 15-minute warm-ups. So that little introduction there, the Cameron Pom dance team in the Pom routine made it to a state appearance. They finished 5th in their regional, so that qualifies them to dance at state. I believe that's in a week and a half. And Alicia Lowe, kind of that was in the middle there, qualified again this year as a soloist in dance. So they will be heading to state here, I believe, the weekend of February 6th, 7th. Well, as we get ready here tonight, going to give you a little brief on how do we get here so far this season. The Northwestern Tigers come into tonight 9-3. They are 7-3 in the Heart of the North Conference and ranked number 4. Their next games are Friday night against St. Croix Falls at home and Saturday with Altoona. Northwestern Tigers are led by junior Jill Kunert, averaging just over 17 points a game. Carmen Thompson, a freshman, averaging just over 13 points a game. And Jenna Cruiser averaging about 9 points a game as a junior. Rebounding, You're going to hear this name a lot tonight, I'm sure. Jill Kunert, the junior, averaging just over 11 rebounds a game. She's also averaging close to 5 blocks per game, something we don't see a lot of. Also rebounding for the Northwestern Tigers, Claire Nelson, a senior, averaging almost 7 rebounds a game, and Shelby Hessel, another senior, averaging just over 6 rebounds a game. Assists go to Jenna Cruiser, the junior. She's averaging 3.5 a game. Shelby Hessel, the senior, averaging about 3 assists per game. And Carmen Thompson, the freshman, averaging 2.7. For the Comets, they come into tonight 10-3. The 2 games scheduled for the end of the week last week with that cold weather got canceled. Not really surprised by that. It's been brutally cold. So the conference with only 1 loss to Hayward in the conference. They are 9-1, ranked number 2 in the conference. Their next matchup is Friday night in Spooner, where they go up to see the Spooner Rails. Comets met them already this year and defeated them 78-41. Spooner 6-10 overall and number 7 in the heart of the North. Then we'll be back with you next week on Tuesday. Bloomer's in town. Bloomer's always been a challenge for the Comets. Last year the Comets got the best of them in a really good game. This is a whole new year. A lot of different players for the Comets and the Bloomer Blackhawks. So Tuesday night, I will be back with you here in Cameron. Followed by Thursday night, we got back-to-back home games. Unity coming to town, number 8 in the conference, 3-12 overall. We already faced Unity in Unity. We beat them there 74-39. So of the next 3 games, Bloomer is going to be what looks to be our biggest challenge for the Comets. Comets this year stepped up to the leading scoring role as Bridget Moen. She's a junior, averaging 15.5 points a game. And coming up this year is a freshman, Aggie Schmidt, averaging 14 points a game. Very explosive on the floor, fun to watch as a freshman. And Bailey Olson rounding out the top 3 in scoring with just over 11 points a game. But notable, Inez Schmidt averaging just over 10 points a game. So the Comets with 4 people averaging double digits, and Anna Baraboo not far behind, averaging just over 8 points a game. For the Comets, Anna Baraboo leading in rebounds, averaging 9 per game. Inez Schmidt averaging about 8 per game, and Aggie Schmidt averaging just under 7 rebounds a game. In the assist category, Inez Schmidt leading the Comets with about 4 assists per game, followed by Aggie Schmidt averaging about 3, and Bailey Olson with 2.5. So we're going to watch the warm-ups here. I'm going to get the starting lineups for you, and I'll come back with what I'm going to call the tail of the tape, the direct stats, points, rebounds, assists, the Tigers as a team versus the Comets as a team. So we got 10 minutes, 30 seconds till we're going to hear the national anthem, and this is going to get started. You got time to fix yourself some popcorn, make yourself a hot chocolate, whatever you want to sip on and watch the game tonight from home. Glad to have you here. I'll be back with you shortly. Well, as the Cameron Comet girls come off the court from warm-ups, we're going to give you the tale of the tape between the Northwestern Tigers and the Cameron Comets. Points scored per team, the Tigers averaging just under 59 points a game. The Comets averaging about 65 points a game, so the Comets outscoring the Tigers on average. Field goal percentage for both teams is right around 40%, but it looks like the Cameron Comets shoot a lot more three-pointers than the Northwestern Tigers do. Free throw percentage goes to the Tigers. They're shooting about 5% better from the free throw line. Although the rebounds are fairly even as a total, offensive rebounds belong to the Comets, but the defensive rebounds definitely belong to the Northwestern Tigers. The assists per game looks pretty close, but the blocks per game, almost 7 a game for the Northwestern Tigers, led by Jill Kunert. Comets averaging just 1 a game. Turnovers for both teams are pretty even. And in the last 10 games, both teams are 7-3. Most recently, the Northwestern Tigers defeated Spooner 52-34, but they lost to Ladysmith and lost to Hayward. The Comets were able to come out with a victory against Ladysmith last week, 62-54, but they also lost to Hayward, 62-52, but it was a closer game than the score appeared. They definitely did some fouling at the end to try and win it at the free throw line, but that didn't work out. So the Comets doing the school song, the youth players dressed up out there on the floor with the high school girls. Again, if you didn't join me right away, it is youth night here for the Cameron Youth Girls Basketball Program. In the north end of the gym, the high school girls will be signing their photographs that the program provides the kids after the game is done. Now we'll be pausing for the national anthem sang tonight by junior Brooklyn Jenkinson.
We ask that athletes, cheerleaders, coaches, and fans conduct themselves in a sportsmanlike manner. At this time, to honor America and those defending our freedom, please stand, remove your hats, and listen to junior Brooklyn Jenkinson for the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light was so poorly and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets round the bombs bursting in them came proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the
Okay, Brooklyn always doing an excellent job. Well, as I glance over the starting lineups, a little surprise for me tonight. I was not aware, but appears Jill Kunert, the junior, leading in points and blocks and rebounds, appears to be out of action tonight. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but that is definitely going to play a factor for the Northwestern Tigers. Starting night for the Tigers, Shelby Hessel, number 1. Jenna Kreuzer, number 4. Number 5, Claire Nielsen. Number 22, Regan Eberhardt. And number 33, Carmen Thompson. For the Comets, number 2, Aggie Schmidt. Followed by number 11, Inez Schmidt. Number 13, Bailey Olson. Number 24, the only starting senior for the Comets, Anna Baraboo. And number 34, your leading scorer for the Comets, Bridget Mones. Comets are coached by Chloe Wanick, Peyton Teefs, and Nick Wanick. The Northwestern Tigers are coached by Paul Eberhardt and JV coach Craig Anderson. So it looks like Claire Nielsen, the 5'9" senior, is going to be doing the jumping for the Northwestern Tigers, with Inez Schmidt again. A good crowd on hand tonight for youth night. The band was here to open it up, and at halftime we'll get the intros of the youth teams and coaches. Inez commanding a nice jump ball, tipped to Bridget Mones, didn't quite find Bailey Olson, who was cutting to the basket. Comets working around, Mones on top, looking at what's going on, over to Inez. Inez to Bailey on top, Bailey Olson dribbles in, Anna Baraboo up top, gets it over to Aggie Schmidt. Aggie looks to drive, stops at about that 12-foot mark, thought she was going to shoot it, turned around, kicked it out. They work it around, back into Aggie. Aggie up on top to Inez. Inez fires it across court to Bridget Mones. Bridget back to Inez on top. Looking for a screen from Aggie. A little give and go, might have been there. Dishes to Bailey. Bailey on the drive, a little hard off the glass. Rebound Tigers. Defensively, they've done very well on rebounds. Try to get it in to Kreuzer, but tipped away. They got it back to her, though. She tries to drive. Baraboo stops her. Kick it back out on top. Shelby Hessel looks to drive. Kicks it over to the baseline. Back over to Nielsen. She works it around, passes it across the top. Back to Kreuzer, who resets. Hessel with it. Drives are looking for a little give and go. It's not there. A long pass over to Thompson on the side, but a nice drive, lays it up, comes up a little short off the rim, and the Comets are off to the races. Mones with the rebound, ahead to Aggie Schmidt with a nice pass to Baraboo, but there comes the blocks for Northwestern Tigers. Baraboo kind of paused, figure she was safe to go up. No dice. Nielsen with the rejection there, out of bounds. Comets ball. Into Baraboo, kicks it over to Mones. Drives in, nice little jumper off the glass. Couldn't get it to go. Northwestern tries to save it. It was out on them, but they threw it into the Comets anyway. So either way, Comet ball. Olsen to inbound. Out to Baraboo. Kicks it out to Inez Schmidt. Over to Mones. Back to Inez on top. Over to Aggie. Olsen covered for the three. Out to Mones, back to Olsen, fires a three, comes up short, hard off the rim. Little scrap for the board. Aggie Schmidt comes up with it. Got caught up in traffic, turned around, stepped one too many times. Turnover. Just under 16 minutes left. Comets had several looks at it, but nothing's fell for anybody. We're still tied at 0. Mones on top. Gets a nice steal, tries to save it going out of bounds, but unfortunately gave it right to the Tigers. Thompson with it, working around on top. Looks to the baseline, down to Kreuzer, who drives in, loses a handle. Schmidt picks it up off the ground. Baraboo gets it. Tried to pass. Stripped away from her by Kreuzer, who went right back up with it. And Baraboo caught her on the arm when she went back up trying to block it. The Tigers first on the board with 2. Long rebound on the missed free throw. Aggie Schmidt comes up with it, and to the races she goes. Over to Inez, down in the corner to Baraboo. Works it up top to Aggie. Over to sister Inez. Over to Bridget Mullen. Stop with a nice about 15-footer. Hard off the rim, and the Comets still ain't getting that to drop. And Thompson quickly back the other direction. Get it on top to Kreuzer. Down to Hessel in the corner. She thinks about driving, nowhere to go. Kicks it over cross court to Thompson. Working around the outside. Thompson still has it. Tries to get it in. Picked off by Schmidt. But Tigers got it back. A lot of Comet ball, Northwestern ball, Comet ball. Schmidt goes up with it. Again, rolls off the rim. Saved by the Comets. They reset. We're going to try it again. Baraboo on the outside. Work on top to Moans. Comets cannot find the bottom of the basket so far in this first half. Schmidt on top. Olsen looks at it. Over to Moans. Works it to Aggie Schmidt, who's a driver. Nice. She's quick. Cuts to the hole. Came up off the glass. One hand and in. Comets are on the board. It's 2-2. Tigers getting a lot of pressure by the Comets on top. A lot of tip balls. Tigers working around for a nice outside 3 for Kreuzer, but hit the front of the rim. Schmidt with the rebound. She comes a whole way. Comes up a little bit short. Moans looks for the steal, but dives in a little too hard. Got her body on the way in. That's Moans first. And a timeout is called by the Northwestern Tigers. We've had a lot of action in these first 4 minutes, but not a lot of scoring. Comets have definitely had more shots on the basket, but 2-2 with 13:45 left in the game. So the Tigers calling the timeout, trying to draw something up differently. Been a lot of tip balls, loose balls that went back and forth and happened so fast I couldn't even call who had the ball, and it was turned over again. Coach Teefs was just questioning the number of fouls on the scoreboard. It's showing Bridget Moans Baraboo has 2, when actually Baraboo has 1 and Bridget Moans has 1. So they're trying to figure that out. The scores desk, meanwhile, it's Tiger ball. Thompson dribbling it around. Was trying to hit a cutter, but no dice, picked off. Thrown ahead to Aggie Schmidt, and she takes it in for a nice rebound, and that's Comet girls basketball. Fast transition basketball. Comets playing some tough defense. Tigers working around the outside. They get an open look from Hessel for 3. Long rebound to Inez Schmidt, who brings it down. Kicks it over to Aggie. Aggie with a little drive and in, and they're going to count it. She got a step in, ran into him. As she fell forward, she threw it up and got it to go. So Aggie Schmidt with all of Cameron's first 6 points. And the Comets with the substitution, Peyton Sievert, number 33, a junior, in for Anna Baraboo. Aggie Schmidt shooting 1. Not sure what the refs are conferencing about, but it came from the scorer's table. I can only assume it might be about the foul situation before with number 24 and 34 for the Comets. But Aggie Schmidt at the line. And hits the free throw. 7-2 Comets, all Aggie Schmidt. Northwestern brings it down. Hessel over in the corner to Thompson. Thompson looks to drive. Up to Nielsen. It must have been tipped by the Comets because it wasn't called over and back as Hessel saves it. Kreuzer working around the top with it, but covered closely by Schmidt and Sievert. Thompson looks to go in, nothing doing on that side. Hessel finds Thompson for about a 15-footer. Nice looking jump shot there. Finds the basket, Comets up 7-4 now. Aggie Schmidt kicks it over to Moens, back to Schmidt. Inez on top, working it around. Kicks it out to Peyton Sievert. Peyton looks at it, thinks about it. Over to Bailey Olson. Bailey starts the drive, no call. Wisely stop, no call. Pull-up jumper by Bailey, left alone, she hits it. Thompson again, quick to come down, runs into traffic though. Moens all over her defensively. The Tigers kind of working around the outside. They haven't had much luck getting it inside. Comets are battling inside there. They tried to fire it inside to Eberhardt, who kind of had position, but it was just off the tips of her fingers, not out of bounds. Comets ball. And a substitution, Addie Harms comes in for the Tigers, replacing Eberhardt. So Comets down, Schmidt on top, a little give and go from Moens. Moens throws it to Schmidt. Schmidt right back to Moens. Moens is able to come up on the left side and finish. Comets up 11-4. Kreuzer tried to get it in. Hessel picks it up with a nice 12-foot floater. So a nice looking shot there by Hessel. And the Comets come back the other way. Moens on the drive, kicks it out to Aggie Schmidt. Aggie was going to pass, dribble, decided to pass, too late, took an extra step. Turnover Comets. Comets still though with the lead, 11-6. Led so far by 7 points of Aggie Schmidt. She had the first 7 for the Comets. Thompson on top, works it around to Harms, who was open under the basket. She finishes nicely, and the Tigers are back 11-8. Moens finds Inez Schmidt on the baseline, drives right in. She's kind of left alone. You don't want to leave her alone there. She's going to hit that one every time. Hessel the other way, being guarded heavily by Aggie Schmidt. Kicks it out to Thompson. Moens is on her. Hessel back over to Kreuzer. On top to Thompson. That's a deep three, and she hits it. She was a solid 4 feet beyond the three-point line, but they gave it to her, and she took advantage of it. Comets the other way. Sievert drives into some tough traffic under the basket, tried to kick it out, but Tigers tipped it out of bounds. So Moens to inbound. On top to Aggie Schmidt. On the top of the key is Inez. She got it into Bridget. Bridget in heavy traffic. Was trying to get rid of it, but lost her step there. And Comets with another turnover. So 13-11. Tigers are working their way back into this with 10 minutes left in this first half. Kreuzer driving in, kicks it out to Hessel, who had an open three, but decides to drive in. One of the last times down, she pulled up at about 12 foot with a nice shot, but she didn't take it this time. Hessel with the drive, lost the handle. Moens blocked it. They came up with the shot, came up short. Comets quickly the other way. Moved it down quick to Schmidt. She got it over to Sievert for a lay-in, but the Tigers got their hand on Sievert's hand. Wasn't allowing that one to go up, and the foul's on Thompson. So Sievert goes to the line. She's going to be shooting 2. Sievert, a little deep on that one off the back of the rim. She's got one more, and Eberhardt comes back in the game, this time for Thompson. So the Tigers definitely have some height underneath the basket in there now. It didn't pan out, though. They couldn't come down with the ball. The Comets did. Bridget Moens all over it. Got it to Inez Schmidt, who got that one to go. So even though the Tigers had the height, they couldn't quite get their hands on it, and the scrappy Comets came up with it. Nielsen the other way, guarded by Moens on top. Kicks it into Eberhardt, who went to go back, but Moens picked that one off. She's going strong to the basket. And Nielsen with the body foul on the way up. I thought Nielsen might have stopped and let her go by, but you knew that was going to be a call. She ran into her pretty good, and Moens was able to finish. So the Comets with a couple transition points here. Moens to the line for the first time tonight to complete a 3-point play. Off the basket, off the backboard, and in the basket. So the Comets up 18-11 with just under 9 minutes left in the game. Sievert applying some full court pressure. Kreuzer bringing it coast to coast, ran into Inez Schmidt on the way up. I think Inez was going for the block. She got the body. So Jenna Kreuzer is going to go to the line. She's a junior. She's shooting 2. As I look at the stats sheet, Kreuzer is the assist leader for the Northwestern Tigers and the 3rd leading scorer, averaging 9 points a game. Well, she's able to get 1 out of 2, and the Comets bring it the other way. Aggie Schmidt, as quick as she is, she sees a hole and she dives in, and she was able to get right to the basket and finish as well. Aggie with another 2, leading all scores with 9 so far. Comets work it around, or excuse me, the Tigers worked it around kind of quickly, and Eberhardt had an open look, and she hit it. Moens back the other way on top to Inez. Aggie comes around the top. Baraboo in the post. Starts moving, tried to get it over to Schmidt. It's picked off by Kreuzer, who comes the other way. The Tigers get it in to Harm. She goes up off the backboard. No luck. Fight for the rebound. Comes up Comets. Aggie Schmidt for 3. Misses it. Rebound Baraboo to Schmidt. Back to Baraboo. That's a good spot for her. About a 15-foot baseline jumper. She hits it. Comets extend to a 22-14 lead with just under 8 minutes left in the first half. And now a word from one of our sponsors.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again. Whenever we get it, there's no hesitation.
Okay, Tigers with that timeout. We're going to see what changes they made coming out on offense. They try to get it in to Harms. Inez Schmidt picked it off, fed it to Sievert. Off the glass. No dice. Kicks it back out. Sievert shoots it again. Gets her own rebound. Nicely following up her shot, but unfortunately stepped on the out-of-bounds line when she saved the ball, and Tiger ball. So Tiger's going to try it again. Kreuzer with it. Tries to lob it in. Again, this time tipped by Baraboo to Olsen. Olsen kicks it over to Schmidt, and here they come again. Bailey Olsen for a long three. Front of the rim, a little off target there, and a lot of pressure by the Comets. Hessel brings it down quickly. Passes it out, resets. Nice drive by Hessel. In and out. Fouled on the way in, looked by Aggie Schmidt. And Hessel's going to go to the line for two. A little hard off the back of the rim on the first one. That is Aggie Schmidt's first foul. So nobody yet even close to foul trouble. And Hessel finds the bottom of the net on that one. Aggie Schmidt brings it the other way to Bailey Olsen. Kicks it on top to Inez. Slips over to Olsen. Kicks it all the way across to Aggie Schmidt for a baseline three. She thinks better of it. Sievert kicks it in to Schmidt. Out to Olsen. Lost it in traffic. Northwestern got their hands on that. Tipped the ball. Turnover. Thompson the other way. Oh, nicely finds Hessel on a cut. She just came up short, but it was a nice looking play. And the Comets quickly the other way. And that's where they hurt you. They got the rebound, took off running. Inez Schmidt was out front, and they found her, and she finished. So now the Tigers resetting. Nielsen working it around. Hessel on top. Over to Harms. They try to get it in again to Eberhardt, but this time Baraboo picks it off again. Up in the middle to Bailey Olsen. She stops, pulls up that jumper again. That's where she hit the last one. Just inside the free throw line. Nice looking jumper. I'd take that all day. Tigers bringing it back. Thompson again on top. Being pressured now, looks like by Sievert. A long rebound out to Aggie Schmidt. Aggie's still driving to the middle. Takes it coast to coast. A little too hard off the glass. Harms with the rebound. And Hessel's coming the other way. A little fast-paced basketball. She comes up short off the glass. Inez Schmidt gets it. Comets moving again quickly. She goes coast to coast. Off the backboard. Tigers lose the handle. Schmidt gets it back. Fires short. Rebound tipped by the Tigers, but back out to the Comets. They work it around to Sievert inside. No doing. Baraboo with the rebound, and she gets it to go. Comets several rebounds on the offensive end that time, and they finally found the basket with Baraboo putting it in. Thompson brings it back the other way, driving right down to the edge of the paint. Kicks it out to Nielsen. Up to Harms on top. Does a little handoff to Thompson. She's trying to set a screen. Kicks it out to Hessel. Drives in. Nice little shot. No. Back of the rim. Baraboo with a good rebound. Aggie Schmidt bringing it down, and there's her speed again, driving to the basket, but that time she got tied up. It looked like she had the ball. Harms kind of just stood there with her height as Aggie was coming in. Got to be good in there. Inez Schmidt on top. They leave Bailey Olsen alone for three. And that's not something you want to do. You're going to want to contest her at that three-point line. They gave her a wide open look, and she hit it. Thompson tries to answer, brings it down the other way, pulls up with an uncontested three, hard off the backboard. Moans moves it down quick to Schmidt in the post. Not doing, out to Grassman, kicks it over to Moans with a nice little jumper. Moans missed. Inez Schmidt with the rebound, right back up, she gets it to go. And the Comets are really opening it up. 33-15 Comet lead, 3.5 minutes left in this first half. Kreuzer with it, driving in. Nice penetration. You could hear the hands as she went in. Hard off the glass. She didn't get it to go, but she's going to have 2 free throws at the line. Well, the Comets making a substitution. Abby Olson, number 5, in for the Comets. Anna Baraboo is going to take a rest. Moans is going to bring it down. Kreuzer hit her second. They give a wide open look to Bailey Olson again from 3. And again, she makes some pay. Thompson back the other way. Coming quick, kicks it out to Kreuzer for a 3, no good. Moans on the inside, able to come up with the board, and here she comes the other way. Kicks it across the top to Schmidt. Back to Moans. Grassman in the corner. Back up top to Moans and over to Schmidt. Olson baseline. Goes cross court to Moans. Fires up a 3, in and out. Rebound, Tigers, and they quickly throw it ahead. Schmidt tried to block Kreuzer on the way up. Didn't get the block. Kreuzer came up a little short. Quentin Grassman on the rebound and quickly the other way. Moans with a 3. Doesn't get it. Rebound Tigers. Schmidt wasn't happy with that. Thought she could take it from her. Not the case. Inez Schmidt with the foul. Crowd wanting a jump ball call, but she kind of came in from the side, a little bit behind. That's a tough one. Schmidt takes a break. It's only her second foul. Sievert back in. Kreuzer keep looking to penetrate. Nothing doing there. Hessel with it. Drives in, kicks it out to Thompson for a long 3, and she hits it. Bailey Olson brings it down. Moans with an open look from 3. Gets a friendly roll off the rim, backboard, back in. So there's 3 more for Moans. Thompson tried to drive. Kind of came up with nothing, went for the pass. Moans was right there to steal it, and the Tiger coach does not like it. So with 1:34 left in this first half, Comets have opened it up to a 41-19 lead. Their speed, rebounding, and pushing the ball, it's becoming obvious that is definitely the name of the game. We'll stand by.
My friends know me as Derek, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxter. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Well, we're back with 1:34 left on the clock. Comets with a 22-point first half lead. At halftime, we're going to have some youth basketball players out on the court being introduced with their coaches. It is youth night here in Cameron. The girls have had a pretty good crowd, but definitely an even bigger crowd tonight with all the youth basketball players and their parents. So Tigers back. Kreuzer with it, covered by Moans. Gets it into Harms, who looks to go to the basket. Doesn't get the shot up. Sievert with the block. Olson comes up with it. Nice last-minute pass to Moans, who gets it, goes up and hits it. Nice ball movement on the transition there by the Comets. Kreuzer back with it. Moans is on her. think they're going to call her for a reach. They caught Sievert with that one. So Comets now with 7 fouls. So Kreuser's going to go to the line shooting the bonus 1-1. Missed the first one. Rebound Moans. And she's back the other way. Comets pushing the ball. On top to Grassman. Down the corner to Olsen. Over to Moans. Moans is able to drive around, try to get it up, but the basket didn't go, but drew the foul on Eberhardt. Looks like it's Eberhardt's first foul, but Moans was shooting, so she's going to get 2. The Tigers with 4 team fouls, so they're a little ways from the bonus. And Moans hits her first one. Peyton Sievert comes out. Ashlyn Candler comes in, number 25. And Bridget Moans hits them both. Kreuser bringing it back the other direction. Just under 50 seconds left in the first half. Over to Eberhardt. Well, Nielsen tried to get it to Kreuser. Moans was going for the steal. Comets get a lot of them. She got a little bit too much arm. 8th team foul. Looks like it's the first on Moans. I actually believe it's the second on Moans. I thought she had one earlier in the game, but the scoreboard says it's the first. So Kreuser shooting the bonus again. Missed the first one again. Comet rebound. Grassman to Abby Olsen. Abby back out to Grassman with a nice move to the basket. Wow. A nice long 2-step up off the backboard, sliced in between the much larger Northwestern Tigers, goes off the backboard. That was a pretty layup, and the first points by Grassman. The other direction, the Tigers get it into Bobula, who's in the game, and Grassman, after making a nice move inside, comes back and ties him up for a jump ball on the inside at the other end. This time it's Tiger ball, 11 seconds left on the clock. Tigers having a hard time inbounding. They get into Eberhardt, out to Harms on top, down to 8. They work it around, down to 1, not going to get a shot off. Moans stealing right at the very last second, but the first half definitely belongs to the Cameron Comets. 47-19, a 28-point first half lead. So I'm going to give you a commercial. We're going to set up and see what we got planned for Youth Night here in Cameron.
One another, and they do so with an enthusiasm that inspires everyone around them. Just as important are the coaches who volunteer their time.
Okay, they're making a few announcements here about the youth program.
As teammates and individuals. We would like to sincerely thank all of our youth coaches and players for their commitment and dedication. Your hard work does not go unnoticed, and it plays a vital role in building a strong, sustainable girls basketball program. Cameron is a community that truly comes together to support student athletes. From families and coaches to fans and Shared support is what drives success and creates lasting opportunities for our athletes. Tonight is about celebrating that teamwork, that passion, and the bright future of Cameron girls basketball. Now, let's meet our Cameron girls youth basketball teams. Introducing first our third grade team. They are coached by Tawny Dayton and Michelle Davis.
Well, just in case you can't hear the announcer, the first group of kids you're seeing out on the floor is our third graders. This team is coached by Tawny Dayton and Michelle Davis, followed by our fourth grade Cameron girls, and they are coached by Jake Bradway and Jason Epson. Following Epson out on the court is our fifth grade team, coached by Kara Hoyen, Kelsey Winkler, Jeff Jacobs, and Christine Ebner. Our sixth graders now coming out onto the court. They're coached by Jenny Gillick, Shane Gillick, and Bruce Mones. Next is our seventh grade team. That's coached by John Hoyen, Mark Ricco, Sean Berkowitz, and Joe Gersner. The Cameron school ball coach is Brett Save, coaches the seventh graders. And the eighth grade team just making it out onto the court now. They are coached by Amanda Brown and Tina Hedinger. The school basketball eighth grade girls coach is Charlie Rorty. Now, Coach Teefs and Davis will be assisting with what is called the 15,000 Shot Club. So this is every youth girl or high school girl that documented 15,000 shots over the summer. So starting in June, ending up in August, they recorded shooting over 15,000 shots to improve their shooting, and they are being recognized here tonight. Okay, something new this year with the handing out of the orange shirts. That is for those that made, my understanding is, isn't shot, but actually made 1,000 free throws this summer. now Charlie Rorty, the 8th grade girls coach, is going to be doing some sort of a shooting game. So it's going to be the different grade levels against each other in this shooting competition. So you'll be able to watch that as the kids get spread out for a shooting competition, different grade levels. While they're getting set up, a quick rundown of the scoring in the first half for the Northwestern Tigers. Shelby Hessel, number 1, senior. She's got 3 points first half. Addie Harms, a sophomore, has got 2. Kreuzer, a junior, she's got 4. She's been to the free throw line quite a bit, but she's got 4 points. Eberhardt, a senior, she's got 2, but the hot hand belongs to Carmen Thompson, a freshman, number 33. She's got 8 points tonight with 2 threes and a 2. On the other side, the Cameron Comets, number 2, Aggie Schmidt, the freshman, she's got 9. Inez Schmidt, the junior, she's got 8. Bailey Olson, number 11, she's got 10, including 2 3-pointers. Quinn Grassman, the freshman, coming off the bench, she's got 2. Anna Baraboo, the senior, she's got 4. And Bridget Mones, the junior, she's leading all scores with 14 in the first half. So now we got a little competition, one grade against the next. They're keeping score here. They have to make it from the different spots on the floor by the looks of it. So the floor is marked, and they take turns shooting. And we'll find out what team gets done first. Right now, it looks like the 6th graders are out to a little bit of a lead. Over the 5th graders. And it looks like I'm going to venture to guess the 3rd grade is up on the 4th grade. So the 6th grade winning on this end. Well, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th speed shooting competition. 6th grade is the winners. The Best Teammate Award to number 13.
All right, youth families and players, thank you for coming up. One more round of applause for our youth program.
Undoubtedly a very exciting night for the youth here tonight. They get on the court, big crowd. A lot of people watching, a lot of pressure out there on the court. A lot of them in uniform shooting some baskets. And pressure of their friends trying to win this little friendly competition they had. So exciting for the kids. And I know the high school girls enjoy interacting with them out there on the court and having fun at halftime, and especially when you have a 28-point lead, you're a little bit more relaxed. Tonight was the Cameron Area Scholarship Foundation Spaghetti Supper. Nice meal out here tonight. And they had a bunch of baskets and raffle prizes. So a nice fundraiser for scholarships. And right now they're just announcing the winners of the baskets. So can only hope my name gets called. Okay, again, Comets after tonight, Friday, are going to be traveling to Spooner. They met them already one time here in Cameron, defeated them 78-41. Spooner ranked number 7 in the heart of the North and 6-10 overall. Friday night, the Northwestern Tigers will be hosting the St. Croix Falls Saints. And on Saturday, the Tigers will be playing Altoona. The Comets, not on this schedule, but I believe they actually have a basketball game in Somerset. A little tournament down there on Saturday. A non-conference matchup. And then we'll be back here in Cameron on Tuesday next week against Bloomer. Always a tough battle with Bloomer. And again next week on Thursday, Unity will be coming to Cameron. Unity's ranked number 8 in the conference. 3-12 overall. When we went to Unity earlier in the season, we defeated them 74-39. So, going to be a good game against Bloomer, and we will see against Spooner and Unity. Well, I'm hoping everybody made it through without too many problems over the weekend with these frigid, cold temperatures we had. I'm not a fan of winter, and I'm less of a fan of cold weather in the winter. But just a reminder, if you haven't recently, I've heard a couple stories today about people running out of LP on the weekend, and the companies do not have to deliver it on the weekend. So be sure, with as much as your furnaces were running over the weekend, you get out there, maybe take a note, check that tomorrow, give those LP delivers time to get it to you before the weekend. Don't be afraid to check those LP tanks. Anything under, I'm going to say 35%, it doesn't hurt to get that filled up, especially in these cold temperatures. It's going to be cold the rest of the week. So something I kind of lose track of once in a while myself. So just a reminder, if you have an LP tank outside and you're not on a city service, if you haven't checked it recently, the furnaces ran a ton over the weekend. Don't be afraid to check that tomorrow. Little safety tip here with this cold weather. It's going to be cold again tonight. A high of like 5 tomorrow, but anybody that was outside today, they could say it was 5 degrees today, but that wind chill, I'm not sure the real field temperature with the wind chill has been above 0 since last Thursday morning. And I'm not sure, even though the temp is sneaking up to 5 degrees possibly tomorrow, if this wind continues, she still feels 15 to 20 below. So stay bundled up out there. We got about 3 more days of this before we can start going out as we do in Wisconsin with just a sweatshirt. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people still wearing shorts on occasion when it gets up to 20 degrees. So I'm not one of those guys, but I'm sure we'll see it this weekend when the temperatures go up here in Wisconsin. Definitely nothing like in the southern states where they're bundling up at 50. So, back in action. Second half starts, 47-19, the Comets. We got 18 minutes left of the high school basketball. Then, you're not going to see it here, but the girls are staying after, signing autographs for all these youth girls sticking around, giving pictures. and taking pictures with them if they so desire. So definitely a team-building night for the Comets and the youth program. Always fun. Once a year they put this together. Comets back patiently working the ball around the outside. And we've seen this one other time when the Comets had a pretty good lead. They definitely worked to execute the offense a little bit more than just driving it in and working it as quickly. They worked it around to Moens for an outside three. She come up short. Northwestern Tiger ball. Tigers working around on top to Hessel. Hessel with a drive and a nice came off the back. No good. Baraboo tried to get the rebound, couldn't. Inez Schmidt on the inbound. You don't see that often. She's able to tip it right up to herself, get the rebound, and here she comes the other way. Nice little floater. That's hard to stop. Schmidt with the steal, coast to coast, and 2 points on the board. Tigers bringing it the other way. A foul on Olsen, her first. Tigers inbound it from the side. Into Thompson. She works it back out to Eberhardt. Thompson thinks about taking it in, but Moens tips it away. Thompson comes back again and does a little two-step, tries to throw it up. No dice. Comets running the other way. Schmidt with an open look. You don't see that often. She came up short off the rim. Baraboo scraps for it, gets the loose ball, throws it over to Schmidt, grabs the assist, and Schmidt puts it in that time. Hessel with it for the Tigers. She drives, changes her mind. Out to Thompson, who's got 2 threes already. A little hard off the rim. Comets, 3 of them up for the ball. Baraboo comes down with it. Moens was going to stop there for a second. Everybody kind of paused, gave her enough time to shoot the lane, and she did. She's quick, and you give her a hole like that, she's going to take off. Thompson with the block, trying to stop her, and Moens goes to the line. So Moens hits 1 out of 2 on the free throws. Tries to get her own rebound, but Thompson comes away with it. Thompson fouled on the ground while she was trying to cut in, and Bailey Olsen quickly picks up her second. Called for a block. So Kreuzer to inbound. Kicks it out to Nielsen. Has an open look for 3. A little hard off the rim. Long rebound to Olsen. She kicks it ahead to Aggie Schmidt. Aggie, not much room there on the baseline, but she's able to come up and use the glass and get another 2. Thompson quick the other way. A little pull-up jumper, no good. Inez Schmidt with the rebound. And the Comets are hustling down the court again. Schmidt out to Moens for a 3. She came up short on that one again. Baraboo is able to save it to Schmidt. Schmidt dribbles in as she went up to shoot. Eberhardt caught her arm, and you could tell by the shot because it wasn't going. So I think this is Inez's first time to the free throw line tonight, and she comes up short on the first one. A nice looking shot, good ball rotation, just a little bit short on the first one. And she gets a shooter's touch, roll, a little bit short on the front of the rim, but comes off the back and in for a second. Kreuzer brings it up past half court. Looks at Hessel, out to Harms, who started the second half now. Eberhardt back out to Kreuzer. Tried to throw it into a cutting Hessel, but Inez Schmidt gets her hands on it, tips it forward to herself, and she goes coast to coast with that one. So the Comets applying pressure here the second half. Kreuzer on top, guarded by Aggie Schmidt. She's trying to go in. Aggie, good coverage. Bailey Olson got a finger on it, but not enough to steal it. Nielsen comes in. Hessel drives. Comes a little too hard off the glass. Rebound to Olson. Tips it to Schmidt. Nice pass inside to Moans, who got down there quickly and just waited right there in the post. And Schmidt found her. Nice, easy basket for Moans. Moans and Schmidt on top, covering very tight on Kreuzer. Olson slaps it away. Baraboo almost traveled, as she couldn't quite get the handle originally on the pass, but no call. She's able to couple dribbles there and able to put it in, finish. Kreuzer back down. Up to Harms on top, guarded by Bridget Moans. Oh, a wide open cutting. Nielsen inside, but she doesn't get it to go. Rebound is tied up between Nielsen and Baraboo. Jump ball. Peyton Sievert now in the game. Anna Baraboo coming out. Inbound for the Tigers, out to Harms for three. She comes a little hard off the glass. Schmidt with it. Down to Moans. Schmidt now for a three. Comes up short off front of the rim, and Hessel's coming back the other way. Hessel's going the whole way. Off the glass. No call. She got two. Comets inbound to Olson, who brings it up the court. Schmidt sets up. Out to Moans. Now exercising some patience again. Comets have stretched it to a 40-point lead, so if they maintain this, when we get down to 9 minutes left in the game, she's going to be running time. And Bailey Olson, probably 5 feet beyond the three-point line, hits it and extends the lead, 64-21 Comets. Kreuzer bringing it down again. The Comets defense is all over them. Hessel with a nice little move to the outside. Faked out, cut in on Sievert, was open but couldn't get it to go. Sievert brings it down, and Bailey Olson fires another three. She's feeling it, this time off the back of the rim. Kreuzer with the rebound and brings it back down. Looking for a screen, didn't quite happen. Arms with it on top, tried to get it into Eberhardt. Inez Schmidt with the rebound. They tried to get it up the court to Aggie Schmidt, but Kreuzer said, not going to have it. She was getting that one, and Aggie Schmidt's back in the game after sliding across the end of the court trying to save that one. Hessel on top, working it around to Kreuzer. She's looking for a screen. She gets it. But the Comets switch quickly. Another screen by Eberhardt. Kreuzer takes the baseline shot. No good. Rebound Nielsen. I wasn't sure if they were tied up or a foul. It's a foul. Bridget Moans with the foul. And Quinn Grassman, number 20. Another freshman in the game, and Bridget Moans is going to have a seat. Inbound to Nielsen. She's in the middle. Kicks it over to Harms. Ooh. Harms came baseline. Bailey Olson tried to come from behind and block it. Official said no dice. It wasn't as clean as it looked. Foul on Olson. That's her third. Arms at the line, misses her first. .11:30 left in the second half. Comets with a 64-21 lead. Harms missed them both. Sievert with the long rebound. Nice pass over to Grassman. Grassman on a nice drive. Best thing to do right away. She had a shot to the basket, but Nielsen came from behind, was able to block it, but definitely got her arm at the same time. So Grassman to the line. Oh, front of the rim, and she got the roll. Kylie Cherney in the game for her first time in the game for Bailey Olson, who's taken his seat. Bailey's got 3 fouls. Inez Schmidt with the rebound there. Over to Grassman. Back to Schmidt. Over to Sievert, who lost the handle. Saved it. Back on top to Inez. Over to Sievert. She's trying to get it into Grassman. Grassman was covered. No dice there. Kylie Cherney saves it. Gets it over to Grassman, who finishes. So a nice save there by Cherney on the ground, scrapping for the ball. Got it out to Grassman, and Comets were able to finish. Kreuzer now working it around. Over to Hessel. Hessel's dribbling around. She's covered by Aggie Schmidt. She gets a shot to go baseline. It's not there. Eberhardt with the rebound. She went up, no doing. Inez had it. When she put it on the ground to take off, it was stolen. So the Tigers quickly back with the ball. They went into drive, and Grassman on the foul on the drive. So the Comets up to 5 team fouls already here in the second half. 2 more, and the Tigers will be shooting free throws. So Hessel comes out for the Tigers. And Nielsen takes a look at a 3. Close, off the rim, no dice. Sievert saves it, but saved it right to the Tigers. Tiger shot, no good. Grassman on the rebound. Saves it, kicks it over to Sievert, back to Grassman. Schmidt lines up over towards the baseline. Grassman on top, over to Aggie Schmidt. A little fake move. Back to Aggie on top, over to Grassman. A little game of catch going on over there. Down to Sievert baseline. She fires it into Schmidt in the middle. A lot of traffic in there. They lose it. Tiger ball. Thompson coming down with it. Pulls up her dribble just beyond the arc. Gets it over to Kreuzer. Guarded heavily by Aggie Schmidt. Loses a handle, but saves it. Out to Thompson. Covered by Grassman. Thompson, the leading scorer for the Tigers this game. Aggie Schmidt knew she wasn't going to get through Kreuzer, and I heard Inez call for it. And Aggie found her for a nice assist. And basket by Inez. Thompson working around the top. Over to Kreuzer, who drives, but they said you weren't shooting. Foul happened before you got there. Comet subbing in 3. Abby Olson back in the game. Inez Schmidt out. Anna Baraboo returns. And Bridget Moans back in the game. So Bailey Olson out. Inez Schmidt out. Sievert's on the bench, and Aggie Schmidt's on the bench. As the Tigers moved it around, they got it to Harms. Harms thought about passing. Didn't put the ball on the ground quick enough when she took a step, and traveling is a call. So Comet ball. Moans brings it over half court. Abby Olson now in the court. Sits around the outside. Kylie Cherney's down low. Anna Baraboo. Abby Olson fires it to the middle to Grassman there, who kicks it back out. Now Baraboo way outside. To Grassman, who kicks it cross court to Moans. Baraboo baseline for 3. Doesn't take it. Moans on top. Comets exercising patience. Abby Olson to Kylie Cherney into Baraboo. Looked like she must have got partially a block there. The ref was right there. He didn't call anything. Tigers ahead to Harms right underneath the basket. She doesn't come down with it. Baraboo gets a rebound surrounded by Tigers, and foul called. Could have about called it on anybody down there, but it's called on Nielsen. And it's her third. Timeout, Tigers. So we'll be back after a...
Everyone knows me as Maddie. But here, I'm Master Sergeant Hefner.
You can't stop this. Ha. So let's go.
This is my life in the Air National Guard.
You can't stop this. Never. Let's go.
Ball goes out of bounds opposite this timeout that has been called. Then it will be running time. So the ball that will not stop at any time when they're shooting free throws. So the Comets bring it down. Just under 8 minutes left in this one. Kicks it baseline. Moans on top. Over to Grassman. Grassman looking to Cherney in the middle. Not there. She's covered. Moans. Back to Olsen. Back out to Moans. Over to Baraboo. Baraboo looks to fire it into Abby Olsen, but it's tipped, picked off. Loose ball to Abby Olsen. She kicks it over to Kylie Cherney, who goes up with it. And Baraboo came in. She was going for the rebound. Just came in a little too hard and a little too high. She drew the foul. Other girl went to the ground, but obviously did not mean for that to happen. But now with 7 team fouls, Northwestern's going to be shooting the bonus, but if you can see the clock, we are at 7 minutes left in the game, and time is running even at the free throw line. So Thompson at the free throw line, shooting the bonus. First one, no good. Rebound, Abby Olsen. Ahead to Bridget Moans. Moans waits for her team to come down. Over to Quinn Grassman. Comets trying to set up a play again. Out to Kylie Cherney. Over to Grassman. Kreuzer tried to get it away from her. And timeout, Cameron Comets went with the timeout this time. So, we'll hear from a sponsor here. I'm guessing the Comets are going to be trying to run some new offensive plays. See how it goes in a game setting. Okay, the Comets with the ball. They called the timeout. With the lead, 69-21, 6 minutes, 35 seconds left in this one. Again, it will be running time. I see down next to the scorer's table, Ashlyn Candler getting ready to check back in. Grassman on top, over to Moans, over to Abby Olsen. Got to Grassman, but Hessel went for it quickly. And it's foul, team foul number 5. Ashlyn Candler now in the game for Bridget Moans. A good call with 6 minutes left on the clock. You don't want your starters getting injured at this point of the game. Candler over to Grassman. Hessel tried to go for the steal, got her hands on it, and out of bounds it went. Bailey Olsen back in the game. Out comes Anna Baraboo. So kind of surprised to see Bailey Olsen back in. Olsen works it around to Grassman. Back to Olsen. Back to Grassman. We're kind of waiting for the others to flash to the middle. Kylie Cherney did. Kicked it out to Candler baseline. She got trapped on the baseline by 2, tried to get rid of it, took an extra step before she passed it. Turnover. Tiger ball. Kreuzer's bringing it up. Into Hessel. And Hessel looks like she's not real happy. It almost looked like she was kind of throwing an elbow there. Foul on Abby Olson that time, and Hessel goes to the line, shooting a bonus. They're at 8. And now Claudia Mones comes in for Quinn Grassman. Claudia, freshman. Bridget Moan, the leading scorer, I think, this game, her younger sister. So the first one, a high arcing free throw by Hessel, goes in. 69-22 with 4:25 left on the clock. And 2 high arcing free throws that both hit the center of the net. So Comets with it. Candler bringing it up over to Bailey Olson, the only starter on the court. Over to Candler. Abby Olson kind of posting up in the middle, flashing to the middle and flashing out. Bailey Olson with it on the outside, kicks it over to Abby, loses the handle, and the Tigers coming quickly the other direction. Hessel with a nice dish pass into Nielsen. I mean, it's a too little too late, but it was definitely a nice drive and underhanded pass to Nielsen for 2. Comets the other way over to Claudia Mones, and she gets 2 points. And that might have been her first 2 points on the varsity floor. So the crowd definitely excited about that. Claudia with a nice looking shot from the baseline. Well, the foul they're going to call was on Abby Olson. She was there, but I think their legs got caught up, but it wasn't because Abby was trying to swat the ball or do anything. Hessel just kind of went through her. So Hessel back to the line, 3 minutes left. She arcs it up, this time soft off the back of the backboard or the rim, and it falls in. So she's hit 3 free throws in a row. And the Comets looking to put some more subs in. Bailey Olson now, she comes out, not surprised by that. Kylie Cherney comes out, and Casey Anderson, number 3 in, and Lainey Wilson, number 10 in the ball game. Lainey, a really good junior varsity player, a freshman this year. So good to see her out here and get some varsity experience. Comets up 71-27, just over 2 minutes remaining in this one. Candler on top, does a lot of the point guard duties for the junior varsity team. Over to Mones. Anderson on top, tries to find Lainey Wilson inside. She got hit by Eberhardt, lost the handle, tried to save it. Turnover, Tiger ball with just under 2 minutes left. Eberhardt comes in, doing a little bit of subbing on the Tiger side as well, getting some other players a little bit of varsity experience, time on the floor. Tigers try to get it in. Claudia Mones up, tips it away and out of bounds. Nice defensive play there by Mones. Too bad she didn't track it down for the steal. Definitely a deflection and out of bounds. Thompson pushing hard, driving into Candler. She had her mind made up. She was going to the basket, and she did. Just over a minute left as she hits her first one. 71-28. Comets now with a 43-point lead. And the Tigers now with a minute left, kind of emptying the bench to the subs here a little bit. And Thompson hits them both. Now Thompson coming out. The last remaining starter, I think, that was out there for the Tigers. We got 50 seconds left on this one with Mones bringing up past half court. Over to Wilson. Mones on top. Over to Candler. Candler looks. Wilson's flashing to the middle. Abby Olson flashes in, back out. Anderson comes up in the middle. Moans keeps looking at it, finds Abby Olson, kicks it out to Lainey Wilson. The bench wanted to gun the three. She didn't. She rethinks that one. Kicks it over to Lainey, who drives. Got tipped. Over to Claudia. Moans. Wilson gets it into Anderson, out of bounds. So 10 seconds left on the clock. Comets inbound. The bench definitely is looking for Wilson to shoot. Into Anderson. Wilson with the ball, 7. Out to Candler. Candler kicks it out to Moans, to Abby Olson. And that's where it's going to end. Comets win this one handily, 71-29. Again, it's youth night. The Comet girls will be hanging around in the gym. There's already a big line at the north end of the gym. If you're able to see that on the rotating camera here, the north end has a bunch of kids waiting in line patiently to get the photographs and signatures of these girls varsity players and the JV players. So, a quick reminder on the upcoming schedule. The Comets Friday night are going to be in Spooner. Next Tuesday night, they will host the Bloomer Blackhawks. So we will be back here Tuesday night against Bloomer. That's going to be a tough matchup. Then we'll be here Thursday night again. Next week we have 2 home games. Thursday night we have Unity coming here. Comets handled Unity there, 74-39. So, big matchup next Tuesday with the Bloomer Blackhawks. Be very important for the Comets to get a win, who are now 11-3 overall, 10-1 in the conference. They are sitting in the number 2 spot, and they are welcoming the Hayward Hurricane girls back down here to even the score. Hayward Hurricane girls number 1 in the conference, and I believe right now they're 13-1 overall. They're having an excellent season. So, bundle up tonight. It's still cold, going to be cold this week, but we've braved the worst of it last weekend. And again, a friendly safety reminder, if you haven't done it lately and you live out in the country, don't be afraid to check that LP tank tomorrow. You don't want to run out. I know a lot of people have been. Furnaces have been running a lot. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in with me. We'll be back next Tuesday with the Bloomer Blackhawks. Until then, this is Dave Kuffel and the Cameron Comets.